Harvard doesn't usually study footballers, but they made an exception for Thomas Müller. Why? Because he breaks every rule of what greatness is supposed to look like. No Mbappe speed, no Messi dribbling, no Ronaldo body, and yet he's won more than almost anyone, outsmarted legends, and redefined what it means to lead on and off the pitch. This is the Müller Mystery, and the deeper you go, the more it sounds like a masterclass in leadership. Welcome to Athletic Interest. Thomas Müller is synonymous to the city of Munich, but his story actually starts roughly 50 kilometers southwest. Müller was born in a small countryside village called Pähl, the kind of place where cows probably outnumber humans, and the local copper museum counts as a tourist attraction. So what do you do for fun in rural Bavaria? Exactly, you play football. Early on, Müller fell in love with the beautiful game, but this isn't your classic prodigy's tale. He wasn't the most gifted player, he wasn't strong or fast, but in the year 2000, Bayern Munich saw something in him and brought him into their youth academy. That decision would pay off big time. By the age of 18, Müller was promoted to the first team, and in August 2008, he made his professional debut. In no time, Müller became irreplaceable and appeared in every game in his first full season. Bayern coach Louis van Gaal famously said, "Müller always plays." And he wasn't kidding. Since Müller's debut, FC Bayern has played 885 matches. Müller appeared in 756 of them. Nobody has more. He spent almost his entire career at Bayern. And while loyalty like that is rare in modern football, what's even rarer is how consistent he was. Let's look at the numbers. Müller scored 250 goals for Bayern, plus 276 assists. But that's just domestic. How about the European stage? Only Ronaldo, Casillas and Messi have more Champions League appearances. And he even has more Champions League wins than anyone not named Cristiano Ronaldo. Not to mention a lot of matches and goals for the German national team. But of course, it's not just stats. Nobody has won the Bundesliga more often, and in total, no German player has a bigger trophy collection. That's more than the likes of Kroos, Modric, Xavi or Benzema, and he even dared to pass King Zlatan. So much for the numbers. But how did he achieve all of this? The answer to this question leads us to Harvard Business School. Usually, they are doing research on guys like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. But now they were interested in Müller. According to their case study, Müller's brilliance comes down to 3 key skills. One of them lies in his footballing ability, but the other 2 are actually qualities that every CEO or manager could learn from. But first, let's take a closer look at what he does so well on the pitch. Let's be honest, Müller is not built like a typical modern athlete, and yet he's elite. Because that is the whole point. Everything about Thomas Müller's style of play is weird. Everything looks a bit random, unorthodox, chaotic, but it's not. His biggest skill is something you simply cannot train. Müller is famously called the Raumdeuter, which translates to space interpreter. It basically means his superpower is being in the right place at the right time. He has a radar for space and opportunity, like a sixth sense for where the ball will go, where defenders will blink, and where the chaos will happen. And when that tiny window opens, Müller is already there. Boom, goal. Müller shows you don't need flashy tricks or physical domination when you are the fastest thinker on the pitch. And he beats you with positioning, instinct, and football IQ. Sure, he's not the one for the highlight reels, and this might be the reason he never won Bundesliga MVP, but he's always been extremely valuable for the team. And at the end of the day, that wins championships. But this alone doesn't explain a 17-year run at an elite club. This is where Müller's soft skills come into play. According to Harvard, his leadership, adaptability, and influence within a high-performance environment set him apart from most other players. Throughout his career, Müller was known for being the most coachable, versatile, and mentally resilient guy in the squad. During his time at Bayern, coaches have come and gone. Tactics changed, and the club brought in many stars. Ribéry, Robben, Lewandowski, Coman, Sané, even Coutinho for a gap year. But somehow Müller was the one who stayed. Other players got benched and then sold. They weren't able to adapt. But Müller always wanted to evolve. He knew that it was necessary for the team's success. And so he started every season by asking himself, where can I bring the most value to the team? For example, when Lewandowski joined Bayern, Müller knew that it would be tough for him to keep playing as a striker, so he focused on improving as a winger. He always just shape-shifted into whatever role was needed and made it work. Like a footballing chameleon. According to the Harvard study and Müller himself, this resilience is what sets him apart. Even if he's already sprinted and pressed 10 times without success, he'll do it again and again. This quality still shows today. His move to the MLS is Müller's first team other than Bayern. New league, new teammates, new environment. It doesn't seem to matter. He contributed 10 goals in his first 6 matches. Talking about adaptability. Unique skill set? Check. Resilient mindset? Check. But there's one last puzzle piece missing. And Harvard found out it's Müller's unique personality and his sense of humor. He is the comedian of the locker room. They even gave him the nickname Radio Müller for his non-stop banter. But there's more to it. Müller is also known for helping new teammates and young players to settle into the first team. He makes the locker room feel human and relieves pre-match tension. Plus, he is also the one who lifts the team when morale dips. Like after Bayern's heartbreaking loss in the 2012 Champions League final at their own stadium. Müller sent a text message to his teammates, telling them to keep their heads up and that they would win it next year. Which they did. Because behind all the goofy stuff he does is a natural leader who just doesn't take himself too seriously. And with that, he became a locker room, fan, and media favorite alike. Always authentic, always down to earth, and always with a few dad jokes up his sleeve.
Have Robert Lewandowski.
So these 3 skills are what made Thomas Müller the footballing legend he is. What's next for him? At 36, he is still going strong on the pitch, but soon he might be open for a new role. He is already set to work as a TV pundit during the 2026 World Cup. But the Harvard study actually suggests that because of his soft skills, Müller has executive potential. Some experts go even further and believe that his path is kind of destined. Matthäus, for example, predicts that Müller will become Bayern president one day. If that really happens remains to be seen, but one wouldn't be surprised to see him in an executive role in the future. Or as Oliver Bierhoff put it, if I were to bet on one player to be successful in his career after the career and do business in the future, it would be Thomas Müller. So now that it's solved, what can we learn from the Müller Mystery? Since his debut, Thomas Müller is proving something every coach wants to teach. You don't have to be the most talented to be successful. And in a world that celebrates individual brilliance, he became successful by mastering the art of making everyone else better. And no matter if in sports or in life, isn't this what true greatness is all about?